The Green Bay Packers are a young team that gives me a lot of hope for their future. And I think if you're a Packers fan, the most fun thing to watch this year is going to be watching these young guys grow together and learn how to win together. It's going to be Jordan Love's first year as a starting quarterback in Green Bay, replacing Aaron Rodgers. He's really talented. I loved him coming out of college. He's got a huge arm, can make every throw. I really believe in Jordan Love. And the guys he's throwing to are also really young, either a rookie or in their second year. Their top couple guys, they got 2 second-year receivers. Christian Watson, former second-round pick out of North Dakota State. He's their most talented guy. He's got a lot of potential. Can't wait to see what he becomes. You got Romeo Doubs. Then you also have a rookie receiver, Jaden Reed, out of Michigan State. He's a second-round pick from this year's draft with a lot of potential that I think could be fun to watch. They've got 2 rookie tight ends. They got Luke Musgrave, second-round pick out of Oregon State. They also drafted a tight end, a third-round pick, Tucker Kraft. So a lot of youth in their receiving room. Tight end, 2 rookie tight ends, rookie receiver Jaden Reed, 2 second-year receivers, Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. It's a young group catching passes from Jordan Love. And I like that. I think it allows them to all come up together, kind of like it gives me like baseball team vibes. I know that's kind of weird, but I grew up watching the Seattle Mariners, and I loved watching their young prospects develop. And you're like, hey, that guy in AAA that comes up and plays occasionally, he's going to turn into a great player. Of course, they traded that player away, Adam Jones, and forever bitter. But my point is, watching these young guys come together, I think, is going to be just a joy if you're a Packers fan. And I hope you can lean into that and enjoy it and enjoy watching the progress they make from week 1 to week 18. Now, I really like the Packers' offensive line. For a young quarterback to have an advantage like a great offensive line is huge. That's exactly what Jordan Love has. And also, it's an offensive line with a lot of depth. I mean, they can sustain and survive an injury on the offensive line and have another guy step up and do okay. I think that's really cool. They've got a starting running back, Aaron Jones, I really like. Their number 2 back, A.J. Dillon, has been, I think, a bit of a disappointment so far in his NFL career, but we'll see if A.J. Dillon can make a lot of progress and play even better this fall. Now, the reality of this team, given how young they are on offense, other than the offensive line is full of studs that are awesome, and they're well proven, but you know, the receiving core in Green Bay is unproven. They got to show what they can do. To me, this Packers team is led by their defense. They've got a great front 7, a solid secondary. The big storyline on defense is I want to see Rashawn Gary, their pass rusher, take a step forward. He was a first-round pick in 2019 out of Michigan. 2 years ago, he had 9.5 sacks, and he had a good start to last year, but tore his ACL, kind of sidelined him, and I thought he was having a great year, and then getting hurt against Detroit kind of took any progress he was making away, which really sucked. But, one interesting thing that happened in Green Bay this offseason is that they decided to keep their defensive coordinator, Joe Barry. And I was surprised they kept him after last year. And I wonder if keeping Joe Barry is going to prove to be a mistake ultimately. We'll see. Time will tell. I think it's a little risky, though. I think, A, it keeps continuity on their defense. They can keep doing the same stuff and try to see if they can get better at doing it. And if they fail, they can hire a new guy for next year. It's kind of low risk because I don't think Green Bay is competing for a Super Bowl this fall. This year is going to be all about growth and development and getting those young players where they need to be on the offensive side of the football. I think best case scenario, this Packers team finds a way into a playoff game via the wild card. I don't expect that, but that would be a pleasant surprise. I believe the Packers are going to go 9-8, and there will be a lot of fun, small moments. But ultimately, this is a year for development. And I really believe in Jordan Love. I want to say that very clearly. I believe in him long term. He's going to be awesome, but he needs patience. He needs some time to grow and develop. If he makes mistakes early on, I hope he doesn't. I hope Jordan Love comes out week 1 and destroys the Chicago Bears. But if he doesn't, take a deep breath, relax, allow him time to develop. And this 9-8 record for the Packers does account for that. I expect them to take their time to kind of grow and come together as an offensive unit. 9-8 would be a good year to me. That's one more win than they had last year. I think it would show progress, actually. And I think by the end of the year, Packers fans are going to take a deep breath and feel really good about their future going, we got the right quarterback. We learned what happened. Whether the defense did good or not, they'll figure out whether the defensive coordinator can play. But I think long-term, The quarterback is really all that matters this year. How can Jordan Love develop and get better? And I think at the end of the year, that question will be answered and give Packers fans a really good feeling. Now, the first 3 games of the year in Green Bay are really interesting because week 1, they play at Chicago. That's a weaker defense with a below-average pass rush that I think is going to be great for Jordan Love making his first ever start replacing Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be not his first ever start in the NFL, I realize that, but this is a big moment for Jordan Love. Game number 1, it's supposed to be your team. I think to be able to play against a weaker defense, like that's such an advantage. Can you imagine if week 1 he played against like the Cowboys pass rush? I mean, that's just a way tougher road to go down. And so as far as he kind of got a gift from the scheduling gods to play a weaker defense in his first start this year, to kind of get started off on the right foot. I think that's awesome. Now, week number 2 at Atlanta is really interesting. By the way, the Packers start on the road 2 games this year. They play, again, week 1 at Chicago, week 2 at Atlanta. This Atlanta game is going to be fascinating because they've got 2 young quarterbacks. Jordan Love on one side, Desmond Ridder on the other, both trying to show the world what they can do. And I think Jordan Love comes out on top on that matchup. I think I'm really excited to see. That's a game where you're going to see Jordan Love and go, oh, because he's going to look, I think, a lot better than Desmond Ridder throwing the football and get a lot of respect and belief from Packers fans. And then week number 3, they play New Orleans at home in Green Bay. That's going to be a fun test for the Packers because it's really going to show what their defense can do. Derek Carr has an opportunity with the Saints to play in a really good system with good players around him. It's going to test Derek Carr, and it's going to test the Packers' defense. How good are they? If they shut down Derek Carr, that's a big deal to me. And I think these first 3 games for the Packers at Chicago, at Atlanta, then against New Orleans, we're going to learn a lot about this young Green Bay team in the first 3 games of the year. But I think it's a gift from the gods to play Chicago week 1 and a weaker defense with a weaker pass rush and not a great secondary. For a guy with, second-year rookie receivers, that's going to be a huge advantage. So I feel great about what Green Bay's doing. I feel great about Jordan Love, and I think this early schedule is going to be fun to watch for the Green Bay Packers.